Hey everyone, Kodandi here, and I am an Adinavasi at Nithyananda Peetham, Bengaluru Adinam, and I am currently in the Sadashivatwa Adinavasi training program. I am here, I love living in this place, in this Adinam with my guru, Swamiji Nithyananda. Today I want to tell you how back in 2015 I got shot and I had this miraculous healing with Swamiji's blessing. But first, you might notice I have this like kind of smeary black stuff on my face. This is called jnananjana. I don't want to smear it all over. And it is this third eye eyeliner is what they called it. It's made in a very traditional way that you would make like eyeliner using like lamp black, the soot from these specially prepared lamps. And it's made in a very particular way. You take this soot and mix it with some other stuff, I don't know the whole thing, and it gets blessed. And because it's blessed by the guru, it has the power of his third eye. And so when you put it on your third eye, you have the power of his third eye. People will also wear it like eyeliner around their eyes as well. But it's a really interesting, powerful thing. And funny enough, this morning during puja, so people have been experiencing the Shakti, the mystical yogic power of materialization, where simple things like holy ash or the red kumkum powder or jnananjana will materialize. Some people have also been experiencing larger things materializing, like candy, sugar, pearls, silver, gemstones. I have seen all of this myself in person, and I have seen, there's one woman in particular who consistently is able to materialize pearls and gemstones. But this morning during puja, I had some of this materialize on my wrist. I can still see a little bit. I don't think the camera's going to pick it up, but that was really exciting for me. And I actually kind of had to convince myself that it was really happening to me, because even though I've seen it happen to everyone else, it was like, okay, I had to convince myself I was going to do it after I had already done it. It's kind of how it worked. And then I saw it was there, and I'm like, oh, today I'm going to materialize something. I just know it. I can feel it. And then when I looked again, it's like, oh, that's what I materialized. That's kind of how my brain is working right now at this point in time. But I'm told that it means that being able to materialize jnananjana means that you have a very strong third eye. And something similar to that was told to me in an Akashic Records reading yesterday, and the Akashic Records readings are a whole nother story. I'll have to get into it in another video. Today I want to talk about the time that I got shot. This was May 2015. I was hit by a stray bullet while I was sitting in my bed. And it came through my skylight. It bounced off the bed, and then it hit me in my back, just below my left shoulder blade, and it didn't puncture, but it made this huge abrasion and this enormous bruise, a hematoma, as my doctor liked to say. And so I actually have the police report here. It was a bullet from a .45, and someone had been out in the neighborhood earlier, I don't know how earlier, playing like Wild West, just shooting into the air. When the bullets go up, they gotta come down. And I've known people that found bullets in the roof of their cars or the roof of the house. I know when they were fixing the roof of my building, they were finding bullets in the roof, but it just happened to be, the day that the bullet landed. It broke through my skylight, broke the glass, or, whatever material it is on my skylight, and hit me. And at first I didn't realize what had happened, because, I don't expect bullets to come flying through my skylight, but I heard the glass break, and I felt something hit me incredibly hard, and I couldn't figure out what had happened. I thought maybe a candle exploded or something. I had no idea. And I start looking around, looking for broken glass or pieces of something, and that's when I notice this piece of metal in my bed. Now, I'm a metal worker. I'm an artist. I work with metal, so I often have pieces of metal in my bed or in my hair or on my clothes. So I picked it up, and it wasn't until I picked up and held it that I realized it wasn't a piece of metal. It was a bullet. It was a 45. It was a big, fat bullet. And so I looked around and I looked up and I realized that there was a hole in my skylight where the bullet had come through. And so then I knew to look for the pieces of the skylight. And I found all that. I did end up calling the police. My roommate and I kind of had a discussion about whether or not we wanted to call the police about this, but we figured, since there was damage done to the building, we should probably call them, get a police report. I have the police report with me, and unfortunately, a lot of it is blacked out. I think because this is still technically an open investigation, I don't think they're ever going to figure out who did this. I can't imagine anyone is ever going to be taken to court over this. I certainly would not support that. Yes, on May 7th, 2015, at approximately 23:01 hours, this police officer was working with this Oakland police officer on patrol unit blah blah blah, and they went to investigate, came through the skylight, no one injured, no suspect seen. I was injured, and so I was injured. I refused medical treatment at the time because I was not bleeding. I was not in any imminent danger. And while I was waiting for the police to show up, I was able to get an appointment with my doctor the next day. So I figured that's fine, that'll work. The next day happened to be the last day of the semester where I had a final project presentation due. So that made everything a little more interesting, being up all night with the police and then having to go to the doctor and then having to do this final project report. And then they describe, wow, they blacked out a lot. But anyway, so that happened, and I posted it on Facebook. And on one of my Facebook friends is Swamiji, and one of the things that he does on Facebook is if he reads a post and wants to give his blessing or whatever, he'll like it. And so I posted that I had been hit by a stray bullet, and he sent his like. Now, when I went to see the doctor, she looked at it. She said it would take 6 weeks to 6 months for the wound to heal. I don't know, for the hematoma to heal. So it would take 6 weeks to 6 months for the hematoma to heal. And so I'm like, oh, this is so annoying. It's like right in your bra strap location, and it was just so achy and painful and disgusting and awful. I'm like, this is 6 weeks to 6 months is terrible. But it healed in 10 days. 10 days. My doctor did not say 10 days. My doctor said 6 weeks. 6 weeks is a month and a half. 6 weeks is a lot more than 10 days. But it healed. It was completely gone, as if nothing had happened in 10 days. And I attribute this to Swamiji's blessing on Facebook. Now, at the time in 2015, I had not met him in person. I only met him in person here in 2017, but I had done, I'd been going to the temple and doing all these programs, and I'd had the opportunity to talk to him on the phone and stuff like that. And of course, he was reading my Facebook enough to catch that I'd been shot and sent his blessing. But it was one of those times when it really amazed me that this guy, way over on the other side of the planet, in India, I'm from California, there's an 11.5-hour time difference. So it's really like the other side of the planet. So this guy sitting on the other side of the planet sees me posting on Facebook and is so concerned about the fact that I have this, large hematoma and that I'd been shot, that he has just so much compassion to send out his blessings for my healing, for me. Before I even met him in person, that he had that much, concern and compassion for me. And it just, even now thinking about it, it's just like, that's Swamiji, You know, that's Swamiji Nithyananda. That's what he does. He just has so much compassion for people. It's just amazing. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be one of his Adinavasis, and I am so happy to be working here. I look forward to staying here for a very long time. Okay, Nithyanandan, everyone.